DatFilmStank.
Yo guys, this is the first episode of the DatFilmStank pod, and we got your boy on Appleby. We got your boy Aiden Runham.
We sure do.
We sure
Come a
do.
bit closer. Come on.
We sure do.
And you got me, your host, Ben Wormwood.
That was a bit much.
Right, so this is a nice little endeavour we've got, where we're going to talk about some shit films.
Woo! And some that-
So, to start off, just to ease ourselves into this, we're going to talk about some news in the world of movies, some actual good films, hopefully. So, recently there was the Super Bowl in America.
Yeah. Should have been a sweet victory.
Goddamn
Yeah,
Yanks.
it should have been goddamn Yanks. And in the halftime show, they had a little trailer for, first of all, Captain Marvel.
Boo.
Does anyone actually care about that?
I think it'll be interesting.
Brie Larson's not very good though.
She was Envy, wasn't she?
Well, yeah, she's
Scott
good in that,
Pilgrim.
but she's not good
Yeah,
anymore.
but that's not.
She may have won an Oscar, but she's not good.
Well, she
You
also
don't
like
have to be good to win an Oscar.
See,
Black
I think
Panther's nominated.
Oh,
I think
Black
it's-
Panther. That's a
main
whole
Shots
other.
fired.
Shots fired. Hey,
I-
you can say that. You're a racist if you don't like Black Panther.
Come at me, feminazis.
Got him. Got him.
but I think it's going to be good because it just set up most of the rest of the Marvel.
Yeah,
franchise.
I think being set in the 90s would be quite interesting
Yeah,
because it's
and again,
It's a bit
then
different.
not many people were knew much about the idea of superheroes back then.
that'd be kind of
Probably
interesting.
were few.
That'd be pretty.
You know,
Plus, it's got Sam Jackson picking up a paycheck.
What
and
guy?
with potentially two eyes.
Yes.
Well, he does at the beginning.
We don't
Yes.
see it.
He's
Not
probably gonna end up
potentially. It's
losing it.
confirmed.
Yeah.
I'm thinking it's unless
Samuel Jackson,
Unle-
2 eyes
I'm
confirmed.
hoping this is how it shows.
two
how he
eyes wide
uses
shut.
eyes.
2 eyes wide open.
No.
Jealous.
So that was Captain Marvel. I'm not too keen on it. I mean, the trailer didn't show much.
No,
I mean,
I'll probably see it anyway.
it just looks like
Yeah.
Green Lantern, but
And that's
bit
a
better.
a bit
fantastic
better.
movie.
That's a great film.
It
That's
will
going to
be
be on our
better.
list.
Yeah,
Mm.
cool.
I think we did
Yeah,
get
we
that.
bought
You
that,
bought
yeah.
it, yeah. That is on the list, but it just looks a bit bad to me. Or it just doesn't look interesting.
Yeah.
But what does look good?
Well,
Is
I just
go on.
hope because they're introducing the scrolls. I'm just hoping they use that as a way to get rid of the worst characters in the MCU.
Yeah, you were saying earlier.
Like
you wanted to get rid of
Falcon. He's
Oh.
the worst. He's so bad.
I like Falcon.
No, he's annoying. He's like, don't thank me, thank the bird. It's like so annoying.
Well, okay. On to some better news. There was a little 30-second trailer for Avengers Endgame.
Which will hopefully be good.
Yes, hopefully.
Unless
Because
they do like
otherwise,
time travel badly.
yeah, it will make. Otherwise, if it's not good, it will make the past 10 years, 11 years a bit
Waste.
redundant.
Yeah.
It's been building up to this.
What I think will happen is either Captain America or Iron Man will die. I think Captain America.
What I'm hoping for is that in the Captain Marvel end credit scene, she dies in the snap.
That would be
So
cool.
they've been hyping up. She's gonna save it. Just
She
no,
just dies.
Yeah.
no.
Well, have you seen in the trailer at the Super Bowl? There was a massive gap. There were gaps missing
Yeah.
in the lineup. So it's probably going to be like her. She'll be like
What's up, sis?
rocking out.
Hi, sisters.
Yeah. She'll just be rocking out, and then everyone will be like,
Shit,
"Oh my
that's
gosh, why did we think of
why
that?"
didn't we think it was Captain
From
Marvel?
from the trailers and stuff we've seen, it hasn't given much away. It's just setting the atmosphere at the moment because it looks
Yeah.
quite depressing and bleak. Which
Yeah.
is a bit of a change
But I
for
think-
Marvel.
I'm hoping Captain America dies because it will make Civil War a better film
Yes.
because it shows
Yeah,
that there are
definitely.
consequences of it. Because Civil War, to be honest, wasn't really that good. It was just Avengers 2.5.
Come at him, fangirls.
It actually was.
Come at me,
It because it
Sangy.
in the
Got him.
in the comic book, Captain America dies. He's got consequences, you know.
Yeah.
He gets shot.
It's true.
But in the next one, it's like what? There's a little bit of a fight, but then they're fine again, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping what happens is Iron Man to get the Soul Stone before Thanos.
Yeah.
He has to kill Captain America.
That'd be pretty good.
Or
Because
Captain America
ain't nothing
kills him.
personal, buddy.
I think it will end with a death of an Avenger, and I hope
better.
it
I think
does.
most of the cast will die,
Yeah.
and they'll start over. Like in the comics, they replace Captain America with Bucky.
Yeah.
But I don't think they'll do that. But I think they will
Replace him
get
with
a new actor.
Falcon.
Yeah.
Yeah, Falcon will be the new Captain
Hope
America.
not. Fucking hell.
Sam Wilson, he's just walking around.
Yeah. But I'm excited for that. And I think it's
Move on.
yeah. We'll move on. Right. So the topic at hand, Aiden, do you want to introduce it?
We're talking about the movie that started off the whole bad movie watching club.
DFS, if you don't know.
DFS.
Follow us at DatFilmStank on Instagram. You know,
Yeah.
just if you want to do that, and Twitter.
It's the cinematic masterpiece Holmes and Watson.
Oh,
So I've got the
What else
plot
could it be?
synopsis up, and if you want to butt in at any point and tell me your thoughts on a certain scene, something like that, go on.
They're going to chance to do that with the
Right, okay.
description.
just
Okay,
just
fine.
give us a little bit of a background on the film.
Okay.
Read the whole description of the plot.
It's like 4 paragraphs long. I'm not gonna do that.
Is this Wikipedia?
Yeah.
Oh, gorgeous.
So in 1981, Sherlock Holmes meets and befriends John Watson.
1981.
1881. Sorry, everybody. I didn't mean that.
There was the Titanic.
There was the Titanic in 1981. Sherlock Holmes meets and befriends John Watson. That's
Right.
the first thing.
Okay. First of all, meet and befriend. Okay. So the joke of the scene is Holmes is there in his garden.
And he's got a big gourd.
He's got a big, he's got a big,
big courgette.
he's stroking a marrow, I think it's fair to say.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
He likes the marrow a bit too much, to be honest.
Yeah, he's like,
giving it
"Oh."
a stroke, and it's, oh, look at this dingus, he likes a bit of vegetable. And then, on the roof, you got John Watson, he's about to kill
John
himself.
C. Riley.
Yeah.
John C. Riley, who really should not be in this.
I wish he had, because then the movie would have been over.
Yeah. Basically,
It would just be
he's,
Holmes.
yeah, he's about Holmes. Holmes alone.
Yeah.
He's about to kill himself, and then Holmes is like, oh, don't jump on me, marrow, and Watson's
Please.
like, what? Oh, you're my friend, because he mishears him, and basically he basically gets talked down by Holmes, except Holmes doesn't really care, and then they start an epic friendship, and apparently,
It's not really a friendship.
not really,
No, not really.
apparently. In the American version, the opening scene is them as kids, but for some reason, the version in the UK cinema was completely different because
Because
suicide
Yanks
jokes got him.
got him.
I don't know. But I mean, Sherlock Holmes came from the UK.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they
So
kind of
naturally,
know-
he's played by Will Ferrell.
Yeah.
The most British person I could think of.
God.
Okay, let's carry on.
Yeah.
Years later, Holmes is viewed as a legendary detective. Both he
course.
and Watson are to view the trial of Professor James Moriarty, but are temporarily waylaid by a package sent by Moriarty and brought to them by the housekeeper, Mrs. Hudson.
Okay, so that's
John
nice
Rogers.
foreshadowing there.
Yes.
The package, of course, is just a mosquito.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh my god, the mosquito is going to kill us.
Yes.
And then they hit each other.
they do hit
Yeah.
each other.
That's
and
the
it's
joke.
epic,
And then-
epic lols
Yeah,
ensue.
they hit the glass of that thing,
And it
and then
releases
like a
some
bunch of
bees.
bees come out and they start stinging them.
Killer bees.
Killer bees.
Killer Bean, the movie.
Oh, that's
That's classic.
pretty epic.
Okay.
But that also, as we're seeing Holmes and Watson in their home, 221B Baker Street, you are introduced to Miss Hudson, played
The
by
sex addict.
Kelly MacDonald, who has been in such great films as Nanny McPhee.
Oh, that's actually a
Clash.
banger.
She's actually good, and she's also Merida in Brave.
Oh, never mind. No, it's not. It
she can get in the bin.
I quite like Brave, but
was okay. Actually.
but in this, she is dire. There's no
She is-
excuses.
I
she
mean,
is
I think it's just the way
horrible.
it's written, the character's written.
Yeah.
But
It's
she
not her
she
fault.
looks like an embarrassed year 9 in a school production.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
But the joke is she knobs a load of famous people
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that weren't around in
that weren't around,
1981.
such as Albert Einstein and
Houdini.
Harry Houdini.
Harry Houdini, who also make reoccurring roles.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and the joke is that she goes into Watson's room and
Does
She
the
has
deed.
sex.
has
Has the sex.
the sex, and then Watson goes, no wonder my room smells like fish pie and semen.
Yeah.
So the joke was, I thought it was going to be fish pie, and it's like, all right, this is a 12A. He means semen, and he just goes and says it. It's like, oh, all right, that's some good writing. All right, Jess.
The worst thing is that in that scene they try and replicate the Robert Downey Jr. like measuring
Oh
without
yeah,
scene
the whole
when they go to
visual.
hit the
Yeah.
scene so you wouldn't
mosquito off the
yeah when you
glass.
wouldn't actually
Yeah.
break the killer bee thing,
Yeah,
and then it just doesn't
but
work.
it's not a joke either.
No,
And
but,
they
Because it's
do
like,
it-
oh, you know that one thing that other film did? We're just going to do that.
but
And they do it
worse.
later
Yeah.
on in the movie as well
Yeah.
when he's
When he's
We'll get
pissing.
to that,
Oh
yeah.
my god!
Okay,
Right.
fine.
Yeah.
Once at the trial, Holmes declares that the man on trial is not Moriarty and is instead someone named Jacob Musgraves, apparently, because they don't say this in the movie.
Because the joke is that Holmes is dumb and doesn't know that Moriarty is actually Moriarty. Although
No, it wasn't him.
it turns out not to be, but
It
that's what
wasn't.
you think at the beginning. And then you've got Rob Brydon as
He's actually good.
Inspector
It was
Lestrade.
really unlucky
Rob
to be in
Brydon,
there.
bless him, he's doing his best.
Oh, there's a bit extra.
Oh.
It says that Jacob Musgraves is incapable of committing the murders due to tremors in his hand caused by excessive masturbation.
Yes.
And there's a joke
That's
that
the joke.
That's
he's
the
a
joke.
wanker.
Beats his dick.
Because
He beats his and then for about 5 minutes, it's just Watson going, waving his hand up and down, going, he's a fondler of the carrot. Ooh,
And do you realise this microphone isn't a camera, so you can't go.
I know. It's to get myself in the mood.
Okay.
You know? He's a sausage
He's
stroker,
he's a pickle tickler.
pickle tick. Yeah,
I
He's
can't
a-
remember
and
anymore.
it goes on for about 5 minutes, and then he just goes, yeah, he's a wanker.
Yeah.
Okay. Despite unsuccessful
I th-
attempts by. do you
I
wanna-
think like every joke in this film is about 5 minutes long.
Yeah.
There's
5 minutes
They drag
too
it out
long.
Yeah,
far too
realistically, there's about like 2 jokes,
Yeah,
2 or
This-
3.
Just
They're
an hour
all-
long.
Yeah, they're just far too long.
long. Okay. Despite unsuccessful attempts by Inspector Lestrade to convince Holmes that his deduction is incorrect, Holmes is convinced that Moriarty is currently travelling to the United States. That doesn't really add it.
that doesn't matter.
Okay.
He does though.
Oh yeah, that's for the
they
post.
set up
yeah.
the sequel.
Yeah,
the end
we'll
credits.
get to that. We'll get to that.
Okay. After the trial, the duo travel to Buckingham Palace to attend a surprise party where they discover a corpse inside a birthday cake along with the message from Moriarty stating that Queen Victoria will die in 2 days' time.
Oh, and the joke is that they both really fancy the Queen.
Yeah.
but
Well,
she's
they
old.
don't though, because they eventually fancy the other 2 doctors.
Well,
they just think the Queen are like, oh look, the Queen's
They
hot.
She's pretty hot.
they find this body. They find this body in the cake, and then they go to the morgue. And while they're there, they meet this American doctor played by Rebecca Hall, who's English. So they've got 2 American blokes playing English people and an English person playing an American.
Yeah.
And they got that one with a weak chin. That's really
Yes,
annoying.
the
The
American
worst
the American
character in the film.
doctor, her like companion is a woman who basically she's dumb and she thinks she's a cat,
Yeah, she was
Yeah.
raised by cats.
and
Apparently.
she's got
apparently.
the weakest chin in the game.
Yeah, I personally
In the
think she's the
game.
worst character in the film. Worse than Miss Hudson.
Yeah,
She was
yeah.
appalling.
and the joke is, Watson falls in love with American woman, and Holmes falls in love with Catwoman. Catwoman, Halle Berry.
Sorry, Harry Bennett.
That's also on the list.
Yeah, that is on
Oh,
the list.
and it's really not good.
No, it doesn't get better either.
It
Like,
doesn't.
her character doesn't get any redemption.
It's all downhill from
If anything,
here,
it gets worse.
essentially.
Okay.
It was downhill from the credits. Credits?
Opening
From the
credits.
Opening
yeah.
credits. Okay, so yeah, it basically says that they meet other people, and then Watson and Holmes become enamoured with Grace and Millie respectively. By the end of the autopsy, Watson declares that the corpse's death is indeterminable, while Homan believes
Hyman.
that the person was poisoned. Quick note: this is the bit where
Is it the
Watson
weird-
has sex with that lady
American
on the dead
woman.
corpse.
Yes.
Oh,
so they have the
God.
autopsy and he's covered in cake and they just start like
Oh,
mucking like
And I've
cake
never-
all over each other.
I've never been so uncomfortable in a cinema.
Yeah, there's really that 12-year-old kid at the back.
This little 12-year-old who the only thing we laughed at in the film is just this cheeky bugger just laughing at all the jokes
Sat at the
about
back going, funny.
willies and boobies
Lol.
and poo and wee.
Lol.
It's pretty epic.
Okay.
There is a big poo joke in this.
There
Oh,
is.
massive and wee joke.
Yeah.
The wee jokes just keep flowing.
Okay. Furthermore,
That's
he
what's-
believes that the poison came from Gustav Kringer. I don't know who
Is
that
that
is.
the tattoo
That's
man?
the tattoo man played
The,
by
the pair
Steve
eventually
Coogan.
locate Kringer, who is indeed
got good
in
actors in
league
it.
with Moriarty. Before Kringer can reveal anything, he is murdered.
Oh,
So is this the scene where he wrestles that guy?
Yeah, so
There's
he
a-
wrestles a guy and they use the Downey Jr. measurement thing again, but
Yeah.
it doesn't work. And this time,
he chucks his pipe as a distraction,
Yeah.
but it doesn't work. So then he gets like beaten up.
no, but then Watson
then
comes in.
Yeah,
beats him
Watson
with a
comes
chair.
in and they take down this muscly bloke,
Big boy.
and then they fight. They think Moriarty's there, but it turns out to be that guy that
Beat
Holmes
his meat
suspected.
too much,
He's like, "I'm sorry, I'm just a wanker. Ooh, funny,
It's
sorry."
actually true though. His actions. So,
Moriarty, played by Ralph Fiennes, who's blooming Voldemort. and he's actually a good actor. He plays a Nazi in Schindler's List. My God.
He's a Nazi in The Pacifier.
Classic. We'll get on to that.
We'll get onto that someday.
Next, Holmes decides that he must seek help from his brother Mycroft, who tells him that the murderer is someone close to him.
Who played Minecraft in this one?
Hugh Laurie.
It's pretty dumb though,
Who
because
is-
they're like,
They do that.
Daniel
mental
Stewart
talking
Little.
thing.
yeah, they talk in their brains
And
because
then
they're
they
so
have-
smart.
And then they have this room where it's like, because Watson tries to do it and he's doing it really badly.
And he's all dumb, so he goes to the dum-dum room.
Dum
Yeah,
dum.
It's got monkeys in
It's
it.
got monkeys in it, and it's funny because Watson a dum-dum.
Yeah, basically. And okay, Holmes mistakenly believes Watson is the murderer and has him arrested.
Oh yeah, and
Yeah.
it's such a sad moment because then Holmes realizes that his best friend, his BFF,
His bestie with testes.
he's just been sentenced to death pretty much.
Yeah, as it says in the plot, he said he comes to regret this decision, causing his emotions to return.
And
I don't-
for him
oh, yeah,
to
because-
start.
Yeah.
He doesn't
has
have
emotions.
emotions in the movie. That's
Yeah.
sort of
And then
the
he's
point.
like, "What is this? Emotion?
"What is this emotion?"
I feel like robot."
And then he starts singing.
Yeah, he
He
sings.
starts
Yeah.
fucking singing, and it.
Okay, fine.
And then it ends with
wanted
velvet cake. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
it says Holmes goes to Watson's cell only to find it empty, save for a plate filled with red velvet cake crumbs, deducing that his housekeeper made the cake and that Watson left the crumbs to send him a message. He tracks Watson and Mrs. Hudson, who is revealed to be Moriarty's daughter, to the Titanic.
Right. Let's stop.
That's
stop
where
you
it
there.
goes all wrong.
I'll stop you there. So, flipping Miss Hudson, played by Kelly MacDonald, who's usually a good actress, but in this case is the worst thing I've ever seen on screen. She's the villain, which is what an epic twist, but also that she's Moriarty's daughter. She's Moriarty's daughter, the epic villain. So you got some like flipping Fantastic Beasts 2 twists there. And you've got Kelly MacDonald, who is A, she's 1.6 metres, in case you want to know that. She's in Harry Potter's and the Deathly Hallows is part 2. Okay. She's 43,
Yeah.
and Ralph Fiennes, who plays her pappy,
Oh yeah, her dad.
her dad,
Her dada.
He's younger than that.
is
How old is he?
12.
he is 56. So that means
As a
he had
13
when he was 40. Right, okay. So that's not as
bad.
slim a
Not
gap
that
as I
bad,
thought.
no.
But
13.
it's still pretty crap. And
Also,
so that
They turn Houdini and
Albert
Albert Einstein into the
Einstein.
henchman.
Yeah.
Miss Hudson.
and
because
on
she
board the
has sex with
fucking
him.
Titanic in 1880.
Yeah, 18. Well, that scene really reminds me of what's that film we watched that was really bad? Disaster Movie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because
that movie.
it had references that weren't needed or weren't used in the plot.
yeah.
And yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It's just
God.
reference for reference.
Oh,
like
and
Ready
yeah,
Player One.
There's something we need to talk about as well. The main recurring joke or format of joke throughout the film is like one where Holmes and Watson, they get a camera and with Queen Elizabeth they're like, "Oh, can we take a self photograph?" And
Yeah.
and they basically do the duck lips and stuff like that. And it's the joke is they're doing a selfie, but selfies weren't around then. Ooh.
Yeah,
And
And then
then
they have this
I
big
think
ass
they-
camera.
Yeah, they don't mention this in the plot, but this is when they think they killed Queen Victoria and they're trying to stuff her in a box.
But they haven't.
Yeah.
because they knock the funny the funny bit.
They're about to cut
They-
her open as well, aren't
Yeah,
they?
they knock her out with the camera while trying to take a selfie. And then the other kind of joke of that is when at the wrestling bit they try and invent pay-to-view tickets or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's, "Hey, we do that now, but they're doing it then." No, that's funny.
That's funny.
That's the whole movie.
That's
Yeah.
the whole movie with some anachronisms like the Titanic in fucking 1880.
Yeah,
It's so dumb.
And then they save it from being blown up.
Yeah,
I can't even remember how, but Kelly MacDonald or Mrs. Hudson or Little Miss Moriarty,
Yeah.
she gets blown up.
Yeah, hang on. We'll get to that in a second.
Ooh.
Okay, fine. After apologising and freeing Watson, they rush to the main room where they discover a bomb, which Watson throws out the window. The
Yeah,
bomb
but-
lands in Miss Hudson's boat, killing her.
Because Holmes at this point, he's thinking of trying to do the Downey Jr. thing again to do it, but then he keeps getting distracted by the lady with no chin.
By the
It's
cat.
yeah, he's like, "Oh, look how hot she is," and then everyone blows up. So then Watson just runs in and then throws out the window.
Didn't they have a reference to whatever that is? It American Beauty, where there's that girl and there's all the rose petals.
Oh, yeah.
Falling down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they do that and then they save it. They throw the bomb out of the window onto Miss Hudson's little boat outside.
And then to complete the character arc,
and kill her,
you've got-
Houdini, and Albert Einstein.
Exactly.
and to resolve the character arc, it's actually Watson who gets the credit
Exactly.
for saving the day, and it's look at that, they're all friends.
Okay.
But then there's the biggest plot twist.
Oh wait. Oh.
Go on.
Go on, Abe.
Okay. The pair are congratulated by the Queen, only for Holmes to defer the credit to Watson. The pair reconnect with Grace and Millie, the later of whom reveals that her feral personality was an act to manipulate men.
Yeah.
Oh,
So the
God.
cat lady, the biggest plot twist was
She's actually clever,
she's actually
Yeah.
really clever, and she did it to manipulate how men think.
and there you get a feminist joke there.
Yeah.
There you
It's
go.
a bit stupid.
Okay, carry on. Each pair shares a kiss before Grace and Millie head out on the Titanic.
And they constantly mention, have a good trip. It's a safe boat, safest boat ever made.
Safest
have a
boat.
safe trip.
Yeah,
no one's
but
gonna die.
It's all right because they only crashed into the iceberg in like 1910
Exactly.
Yeah, they were on the boat for about 30
on
years.
its maiden voyage.
There you go. Okay.
They're on the same trip for 30 years.
Oh my! Right.
After returning home, Holmes proudly displays a plaque of their building showing that Watson is a co-detective, finally giving him the recognition he desires.
But the plaque's a lot smaller, and that's
yeah,
the joke.
that's the joke.
He'll let his ego deflate,
Yeah.
but then he'll still make it a bit
Okay.
bigger.
Later, Holmes and Watson confront Moriarty in a bar in the United States.
That's the end credits
Setting
scene.
up the sequel, which I hope never happens.
So, you did the review for this.
I did the review for this because
And you gave characters 1 out of 10. I think
Characters-
that's fair.
I think
Yeah.
that is fair. I felt bad for Rob Brydon, honestly.
Yeah,
He's
they had
good, I
really
like
good
him.
actors.
Yeah.
But Will Ferrell, of course.
Apart from Will Ferrell, 'cause he can get in juice.
And writing, you gave 0.
0 out of 10 because it's lazy, it's disgusting.
We didn't even
it's-
mention the shit joke. The joke
was the
was
shit joke?
they had to do disguises, and what they did
Oh,
for
They
yeah.
wiped shit on.
they put a fake moustache on Holmes, and of course Watson. Ha, that's funny. Actually, I believe
I
it.
couldn't tell that
Couldn't
it was
tell,
you because
yeah.
you put on a fake
Mm,
moustache.
that's the
So
scene
then what they
put in
do
the trailers,
for Watson's disguise is they rip his sleeves off, find some like horse shit on the floor and rub it on him, and then they walk around saying, "Shit salesman here, shit salesman, get it? We said shit. It's funny."
Lol.
And then they do that nude joke where they try and write a telegram of a picture of
Oh yeah,
a
yeah.
penis.
They're basically
Sexting.
like Watson and American Doctor Lady are basically sexting over Morse code,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and that's the joke because they don't normally sex back in Victoria.
Again,
times.
it's establishing the joke that it's look at stuff we do now back then.
And they think it's funny, and that's what they invest the most time into, and
Yeah.
it's just painful.
Yeah. Writing 0, jokes are bad, fair enough.
Of course,
Plot
yeah.
2, I think there is a plot there.
There
it's
is
just
a
not
there
very
is
good
a
one.
plot, and just because they had a twist, it's a twist.
Yeah.
It was a
Acting
bad
was added
twist.
to this one. Acting
Acting.
0 out of 10. Yeah, I think the characters were really bad.
I just didn't want to let that slip
Yeah.
because we got to hold these people who get paid millions to account for being in this crap.
Pacing 2, I can see that's fair.
Because
Yeah.
You are launched into it straight away.
you are but
It's a slow sailing shit.
Yeah, when it starts
I was-
singing,
I
it
was
just
trying
makes
to
you
be
wanna
nice.
die.
Yeah.
music -1 out of 10 just for that scene where it starts singing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted to
Singing.
die.
Total score 0.5 out of 10 because it was somewhat redeemable in the fact it didn't look awful. It had good acting.
Although they can't even sync the audio and video up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a scene where Miss Hudson is speaking and her audio is like 2 seconds out of time.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my.
Well, that was a bad film.
That was a very bad film.
That was one of the worst films. That for a while that was the worst film you saw.
Yeah.
Until
Until the
Are we
next
gonna,
movie.
are we going to
watch.
talk about
We'll
this?
talk about this.
We'll talk about this. Okay. We'll talk about this and then we'll
I'll bring it up.
tie the end.
Okay.
so disaster movie.
Now
is-
this was Owen's recommendation.
This was the worst film I'd ever seen in my life. Because I used to watch bad films like every week. I'd go home and just watch a bad film just because.
Yeah.
Why not?
And when we started up this little club,
Yeah, this was the first thing we had to find.
besides Holmes and Watson, of
Yeah.
course, but that was kind of not an official endeavour.
So we got this, and then it's by the people that make the scary movie films and the superhero films and the epic movie films and the date night movie films, which are all pretty much most of them are in the bottom 100 on IMDb. because they're not very good. They're uninspiring. Again, it's reference for reference sake, which isn't great.
Yeah.
The film is based off references.
Hang on, can I say something for a second?
Yeah,
The Disaster movie has a longer plot description than Holmes and Watson does.
it's because so much shit just happens. It just happens.
does.
There's nothing behind it to say why it happens. The one thing I can say is it has some moments where you can laugh at it, not with it.
Yes.
G-Thang.
G-Thang.
Gary G-Thang Thompson
Okay.
Johnson.
I think it's Thompson.
Let's go through the plot then.
He's one of the key members.
In the year 10,001 BC, a caveman runs away from a predator through a plane and immediately gets into a fight with Wolf, who's that guy who's
Reference.
throughout the whole movie.
Yeah, this guy plays like 9 characters.
He's pretty epic. He's a pretty cool guy. After defeating him, the caveman then encounters the predator, a saber-toothed, gasoline-drinking Amy Winehouse, who informs him that the world will end on August 29,
Reference 2.
2008, and that their fates lie in a crystal skull.
Reference 3.
There's a lot of references.
Because the Crystal Skull's from Indiana Jones, of course.
Yeah.
Which also makes a reference later on in the film. It's
Yeah.
just the worst thing.
It is so scrambled together, and
Yeah.
there's literally no point, and there's no link to anything.
It's all bad.
Yeah. Okay. The sequence is then revealed to be a dream of every man Will in the present day. Then he finds out that his girlfriend Amy is having an affair with Flavor Flav.
Flavor
Fourth
Flav.
reference. Flavor
And
Flav.
She breaks up with Will because he is not admitting his true feelings for her.
So that sets up the emotional journey.
Because he's scared
of
the
film.
world's going to end.
Yeah. To be fair, come on.
It's pretty
Because he was
understandable.
told by Amy Winehouse.
Freaking Amy
who's
Winehouse.
played by that woman
Hang
that
on.
appears later that makes me want to die.
Yeah.
Nicole Parker.
Nicole Parker just never work in the industry again. I don't think she has.
Did it
to be
say
fair,
who
so
played
good on her.
Wolf?
Yeah, his name is Ike something. He's
Ike
Ike
Butthole.
Barinholtz.
He plays 9 different
He literally
characters. That's not even a joke.
It's so
Which
dumb.
means he's
It's like Jack and Jill, where Adam Sandler plays both Jack and Jill. But this is just
This is
Baron
Jack,
Hotspur.
Jill, and his 7 other brothers.
It's Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, but everyone's the same character.
Oh my god.
It's like the Polar Express where everyone's Tom Hanks.
Yeah, pretty much. Okay,
that's
later
terrible.
that day, Will has a super duper sweet 16 party at his house, despite
Even though
being
he's-
25.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he has a Sweet 16 party, and he's been like sleeping with this
Yeah.
lady for ages.
So it's not a very Christian film.
Has his
I
own
think it's
house.
safe to say.
And also,
Ben, do you have a charger? Because
Oh,
my phone's on like 10%.
hang on, I'll do it. Mate.
Okay, yeah.
Oh,
Oh, jeez!
sorry, this is nice and professional. I'll edit this out. Don't worry.
Yay!
So, what was it? Whereabouts
Sweet
were we?
16. Okay,
Sweet
fine.
16, yeah. So the legal age of sex in the US, I think it's 18, isn't it?
Uh-huh.
In the UK, it's 16, so that's fair enough. But he's only just turned 16,
Yeah.
so even then, it's illegal.
Okay,
So
hang on. It says the guests include Junie, who's played by Krista Flanagan, Dr. Phil, who's played by John D.
the doc-
Domenico,
he dies.
Yeah.
Will's best friend Calvin, who's played by Gary G. Thang
G-Thang
Johnson,
my
Gary
guy.
G, he's the
And-
best character in the film.
Anton Chigurh, who's played by your boy Ike Barinholtz.
Oh, is that the guy that
Among
should
others.
kill
That's
someone?
yeah. He's the guy from No Country for Old Men.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just kills everyone.
During the party, Amy arrives with her new boyfriend, a Calvin Klein underwear model.
Who's just a bit weird. That's another reference there.
Yeah.
Another reference. Kim Kardashian is in this
Yeah,
movie.
the party comes
So-
to a halt when the room's shakes and the lights go out. A bulletin on the radio
But
claims there is...
you forgot the High School Musical reference. Where
Which
they,
goes
we
on
haven't
for
got
10
up to
minutes.
it.
I don't
Wait,
know.
is that before?
That's
yeah,
before,
yeah.
So the High School Musical references, they do a High School Musical scene where Chad McChadbro, the guy with the big afro,
Yeah.
is played by Gary G. Thang Johnson, and they do that. Kim Kardashian's in it as well. There's just references. They
Yeah.
try and do the curve the bullet thing, and then
From
there's
the
the
movie.
people, the guy from Superbad are in it.
Yeah.
This scene is just the reference overhaul of the movie.
Oh,
You will
Pretty
see everywhere you look will be a reference, and if not, it's just Kim Kardashian.
Yeah. Apparently, according to this, soon after, the city starts to freeze over. When does the city freeze over?
Is that when they?
Because I don't think it's 7 minutes.
What happens is they go outside. I don't think we need that because that's very
Yeah.
brief.
Yeah.
I think I know what happens.
I've
go,
seen this too many times.
Yeah, exactly.
Too many
Twice.
times being twice. Yeah.
Twice.
Once is too much.
They go outside, and Miley Cyrus has been crushed, or Hannah Montana, sorry, has been crushed by a asteroid.
Yeah.
Which made of polystyrene.
Yeah, and then they spend about 9 hours
saying that she just plugs her merch all the time.
Yeah,
and plugs her
That's
toys.
the
9
problem
hours
with
for
these
revealing
films.
it.
They don't know when to end a joke.
Exactly. And then I think they go somewhere else. The Hulk's in a scene.
Yeah.
Iron Man. That's later on, I think.
Yeah. Well, after this they go into that warehouse, don't they?
Warehouse
And they
with
meet
the
the Sex in the City people.
Sex and the
Yeah.
City people, the tranny.
With the
Yeah.
first
Every good
transsexual
film.
joke, because you got a boy playing a girl. Oh, funny.
It's
Also, have we mentioned Kim Kardashian's in it?
I did.
yeah,
did
yeah,
mention it,
she
yeah.
is
That's
in it.
her lowest point in her career.
Yeah, because there's a bit where they just randomly strip naked and then the scene ends.
Yeah. Yes, that does happen. The girls take their clothes off and they're like,
And
hey,
the guy's like, "Oi, very nice."
take your clothes off and everything will be okay. Because it's Juno. Because
Yeah.
From the film
Oh.
Juno, the pregnant lady.
The girl who does not stop moving her hands.
Yeah, her character is, I just move my hands for every syllable I say. And
It's
it's the
pretty
most
stupid.
annoying thing. She's just making references inside a reference.
Yeah. And then they go out and they meet probably the worst character, maybe worse than Juno, is Cinderella, who eats
Yeah,
glass.
they meet Cinderella, who's this drug addict who thinks she's a princess that came out of the sewers.
And then they have a
she's
dance
the worst.
battle against
Prince Charming. Yeah,
Oh.
so G-Thang,
Calvin.
G-Thang and so I think
White
G-Thang
bloke.
and Juno
Juno.
are on the
Yeah.
same team, and Prince Charming and the princess
Cinderella,
who
yeah.
wants to be with Gary G-Thang Johnson.
Which doesn't make sense.
Dance, but they do this thing where the person dancing as Cinderella is a black man.
Yeah. It's a stunt double.
Yeah, their stunt double's a black man compared
Yeah.
to the actual person playing them being a white lady.
Yeah.
And
that-
they, to be fair, they reference this and make
and
it
they make
actually
it
a joke, which is
is
good.
yeah.
The,
I like
the
that.
only
Good
joke
bit.
that works in the whole film.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
good. And
And
then
then
I think Prince
It
Charming
works as it's
disappears.
Yeah.
intended. Yeah.
And then there's that scene where a bunch of stuff comes flying past and then they keep on getting hit by that cow or something.
Yes.
Oh God.
So there's a big wind gust and it takes things. And then there's the guy that plays everyone, Ike
Yeah,
Barinholtz.
Ike
Barinholtz.
He plays a
Holtz.
policeman again. That's his like fourth role now,
Mhm.
third or fourth.
Yeah, yeah. And then
Then they go somewhere.
they go
else.
into a shelter and they meet Alvin and the Chipmunks.
That's how the chipmunks.
Zombie Alvin and the
Yes,
Chipmunks.
Alvin the Chipmunks, but they got
The rabies.
And then they attack everyone and they kill Juno, the
Yeah.
one of the most
And
annoying characters. the one that
Gary
moves on
G-Thang
us.
Johnson wipes dog poo on his face.
Yes, because he's got a shoe phone, and he's
Yeah.
But there's
like,
poop on his shoe and oh no, he wipes
Oh
it
no,
on his face.
whoopsie daisy.
that's the
And
joke.
then so he gets a bit of poo on his face. So what does he do?
He wipes it all,
Wipes it all over,
more.
and then the joke goes for like 5 minutes, and everyone's just looking awkwardly at each other.
Oh. The guy that plays the main character Will.
Yeah.
He's in the
Yes.
Star Wars prequel, isn't he?
Is
Was
he?
No.
No. What do you think he look? He looks a little bit like young Anakin, but no,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
not him.
I'm gonna see.
Imagine if he was. His name is like.
Because the guy that played
I'll
young
see.
Anakin's in
I'll
prison.
find
at the
who
moment for drunk
played.
driving.
Matt Lanter.
Matt
Lanter.
Lancer.
That's his name. His name is
Oh.
Matt Lanter.
Oh,
That's
is
pretty-
he in Aquaman?
Yes.
Matt Lanter.
The
The town of Matlantis.
So they make their way into the museum and they find Matt Lanter's girlfriend, who's like been stabbed by a spear.
He was on the Star Wars Clone Wars,
Oh, okay,
Oh,
nice.
okay.
so I thought I knew he was in some Star Wars.
Yeah, they meet the girlfriend and then they take her. She's stopped being stabbed by a spear for some reason, and then they come along and they meet Kung Fu Panda.
You know, you said he was in Aquaman.
Yeah.
He was in Justice League: Throne of Atlantis.
Oh my, Matt Lanter.
Freaking Matt Lanter.
He actually
Max
was.
Landis.
He was in the Ultimate Spider-Man cartoon,
Mhm.
Secret Wings, which is a
Oh my god.
Tinkerbell. He was in USS.
Oh, we need to watch that with
Indianapolis.
Nicolas Cage.
Nick Cage.
Where it's got like Wii Sports Resort animation planes.
2018, The Death of Superman.
Of course.
He's in that.
So he's a DC.
Yeah, so
fanboy.
basically they go into the museum and then Gary G-Thang Johnson and Cinderella lady, they meet Kung Fu Panda.
That's in the museum because
That's once they met the lady in the
Will's
museum.
girlfriend's been stabbed in the shoulder.
And then they take it out and nothing happens.
Nothing happens.
She's, never,
She's fine again.
Yeah. Then they meet Kung Fu Panda and they get in a bit of a fight and then they both get murdered by Kung Fu Panda, which is
But
pretty sad.
before they do both die, it is revealed that Cinderella was a man.
Yeah.
And
in
she
a way.
goes,
tranny.
"I'm a tranny." Oh.
I thought you knew. And then Gary G-Thang Johnson, the best character in the movie, dies.
And
Yeah.
that's when I died.
And then they
Yeah.
they try and take the Crystal Skull
Oh
back.
no!
Yeah.
Before that,
Yeah.
Matt Lanter
Yeah.
gets into a fight with Beowulf.
Also played by Ike Barinholtz.
Let's
go,
Another character
And
for him.
the joke with him is that he's basically naked and
I think-
says, "Do you want to go and get brunch?" And then Matt Lanter goes,
He's
"That's gay."
He's gay. It's
And
a gay
this,
joke.
this film was made
Yeah.
in 2008, and it kind of shows because it's not very PC.
Also, he plays Batman.
Yeah.
that is
And
true.
Iron Man's in it as well.
Yeah, and Hellboy.
Hellboy's in it. He was probably played by Matt.
And then after that, they
go.
they meet Indiana Jones, but he's black and a midget.
He's Black
That's the
Midget Indiana
joke.
Jones, yeah. And,
And he
then he
goes-
says, "I'm your dad, Will." So he's Will's dad.
And then he tries to swing across to get
No,
to
no,
the side.
No,
Before
before that,
that-
Oh,
he
sorry.
sexually assaults
The guy's
Will's
girlfriend,
girlfriend.
his son's girlfriend.
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh, let me feel that ass."
Yeah, and he
That's it.
oh
just
my!
So then he tries to swing across a room where he could just walk across.
And he dies.
And he
gets
falls
hit-
into a
falls
ceiling
into a ceiling
fan.
fan and dies, which is good because he's the worst character.
And then-
Everyone in it was the worst character other
is
than
true.
G-Thang.
G-Thang's absolute mess.
And then Matt Lanter does the same, but it's all right because he puts the crystal skull back and he saves the day.
And then
and
they
then
get
they-
wed,
they
they get
cut-
married by the love guru.
The Love
Yeah,
Guru,
they
which
just
we,
cut-
is also on the list.
And don't forget, these people are 16 or meant to be 16.
He's meant to be 16, yeah.
Yeah.
He just got married.
It says in the thing that he's having a sweet 16 party despite the fact he's 25.
Oh, it says that he's.
Yeah,
25.
in the plot. It doesn't really say that in
Oh,
the movie.
fine. All right, okay.
What? Then why do it?
But yeah,
I think it's just.
I don't
because
really want to have to
reference.
read something to
It was
understand.
probably because
the
like
film.
a 16, like a Sweet 16 movie came out around that
Probably.
time.
Probably, yeah.
But also, what else happens? Then it ends with the musical hit, and I'm dating Flavor Flav.
Yeah, and it just goes through every character.
Every
in the film.
character, and then
Yeah.
then the credits roll, and it shows who's was in it and who they played, and they have about 2 screens for Ike Barinholtz.
And they
Yeah.
have little gag reel because it's like, oh, we had so much fun making this film.
Yeah, it's got Kim Kardashian in it. She dies, doesn't she?
Yeah.
Although, and Kim Kardashian has since said it's the project she's most embarrassed to be a part of.
I don't blame her.
Not a surprise.
That was bad. Like, arguably the worst.
arguably.
So let's
the
bring
one.
this to a conclusion.
Do we have time for Ant's Life?
Ants like
It's
I
like a-
think that deserves its own.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll,
it's
we'll
whole
do
other
that
episode.
next
That's fair
time
enough.
Next
on
time.
the DFS podcast.
But I mean, so I think this just about made a profit. I think
I don't. Oh, I hope it didn't.
it
'cause
made right. So
They
it's-
made more movies like it. Though.
Oh, okay. Its budget was 20 million and it made 34.
So it made profit.
So it made a profit. Not much of a profit.
Still made a profit.
Still made a
Like
profit.
Leprechaun in the Hood made a profit. But it wasn't
Oh,
much.
good movie.
And that was actually a good film.
Right.
get to
Well, we'll
that.
talk about it.
That's why
But-
we don't trust IMDb or Rotten Tomatoes
Yes.
because
So
they banned.
Okay.
They gave Bulletproof Monk an okay rating on IMDb. We'll get to that. It's dreadful.
So those were the films that started our journey. That's part of DatFilmStank, the
Yeah.
DFS boys.
Join us next time.
Yeah, Chichiga, my guys.
The next movies. What next movies are going to review?
Okay.
Next
We'll
one
go in order.
We'll go in order.
We'll
what
go
we
in
did.
order. So our
Ant's
next-
Life and
yeah.
Dive Wimpy Kid.
Yeah,
Dive
But
Wimpy
Ant's Life
Kid
is probably
4.
quite short.
Dive Wimpy Kid 4.
4.
yeah, the long.
We could probably fit in another one because Ant's Life's really short.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh
We
well,
have
I
to
don't know.
ch-
Our discussion's gonna be pretty long about ants.
You'll have to choose. Yeah, we'll have an argument because
Yeah, 'cause-
Owen thinks it's bad, but me and Ben
Yeah.
think it's a charming
It's
movie.
charming.
So
And
Sure.
we'll
Okay.
see you next time.
yeah. So as
Yeah.
as
actually do.
as we say,
That's how
Digby
Digby
do
do
it.
Actually do.
And don't trust the North Koreans. And Melvin do.
Melvin
Peace
do.
out, my dude.
Chichiga, my guys. And now I've got to edit this.
Yay!